Hi, everybody, and welcome to Prism Pride, a look back at the 1993 Phillies as seen exclusively on Prism. I'm Larry Rosen, joined by Chris Wheeler, the voice of Phillies baseball on Prism. And Chris, when we look back at 1993, what jumps off the page at you?
It's easy, Larry. I guess it was probably going into Houston. The Phillies went in and played a very, very good Houston Astros team right out of the chute in the Astrodome. And you went in there thinking, well, let's win one of these games, maybe two. And they swept the Houston Astros and then went on to have the great start. You know, one of those old cliches in baseball about you can really win a pennant sometime in April. I think that's what happened to the Phillies this year.
All right, let's start our look back at the 1993 Phillies with what happened when they came home exclusively on Prism in the month of April.
As our Prism schedule opened, the Phillies were the talk of baseball, winning 6 of their first 7, and the formula, as outlined by manager Jim Fregosi, was in place. On this night, Tommy Green would give the Phillies 7 strong innings.
Struck him out with a high fastball, number 5 for Green, and he is firing tonight.
Then Dutch Daulton would stroke career hit number 500, a 2-run single, and Green would have all that he would need. Larry Anderson would follow the script, working the 8th inning and making the stretch on the back end of a double play. That would leave Mitch Williams in position to close the door in the 9th.
Hard ground ball to short. Bell to Morandini to first. Got him! Save number 5 for Mitch Williams, a double play ball to end it. And the Phillies have won another one, this one by a score of 4-1, and Tommy Green's a happy man.
As were the rest of the Phillies, now 7-1 and the toast of baseball. The next night, the arm and the bat of Wes Chamberlain were the storyline.
Chamberlain, fairly shallow, comes in, makes the play. They're going to send the runner. The throw is strong, and he's out at home plate. Breaking ball on a line drive and a base hit to left field. Daulton's being waved around. He'll score. Wes Chamberlain's 3 for 3, and the Phillies lead it 4-0 here in the 5th inning.
Big Ben Rivera had that good overhand curveball working, and it would be David West accepting the handshakes.
Here's the 0-2. Little number back to West on one hop. He fires. He got him, and the brooms are out. Jim Fergosi's ball club sweeps the Cincinnati Reds. The Phillies have won 5 in a row. They're 8-1. They have their best start since 1915. And it's a lot of fun around here. It's a shame we have to go on the road.
But they would come home indeed to the coldest night of the season and one of the wildest contests. The Giants were in town, led by the Bonds' father and son. They would rack Phillies pitching and build an 8-0 lead in the 6th inning. It looked like a lost night at the vet. But then a great play by pitcher Brian Hickerson would backfire on the Giants.
Oh my goodness, how did he catch that? And he slams the ball down, does Hickerson. I can't believe he caught that ball.
The spiking was the fuel the Phillies needed to light their fire, and back they came, led by Milt Thompson.
Hard up the middle and through for a base hit. 1-run scores. Here comes Daulton. He's being waved around. He'll score. And it's an 8-7 game now in favor of the Giants.
Still in the 8th, Jim Eisenreich came up big.
1 ball. 2 strikes to Eisenreich. It's a tie ball game. Morandini scores double 8s here in the 8th.
But the unlikely comeback was incomplete until the 12th inning, when Royce Clayton's error left runners on 2nd and 3rd. Dave Hollins came to the plate, but never had to swing the bat.
Wild pitch. This baby's over. It's over. The Phillies have somehow managed to win this game 9-8. Unbelievable.
Perhaps there is something to that destiny thing after all. By early May, it was clear the 1993 Phillies were for real and almost unbeatable at Veterans Stadium. The cross-state rival Pirates were in town, and a leaping Milt Thompson kept it 1-1 into the 8th inning, before Darren Daulton took matters into his own hands.
Fly ball, deep right center field. Back goes Van Slyke. Hits a grand slam home run. Darren Daulton hits a slam, and the Phillies take a 5
outs later, and the Phillies had the best record in baseball. The Phillies would return home a week later, bruised but unbroken. Felipe Alou's Expos were the challengers, and newly minted local hero Pete Incaviglia rocked the yard with one swing of the bat.
Deep to left field, fair or foul, it is a fair ball, a grand slam home run, Pete Incaviglia, and the Phillies lead it 4-0 here in the first inning.
A bolt worth admiring, both by Pete and the crowd at the vet. From there was all Curt Schilling, retiring the final 15 Expos, a complete game beauty for the first place Phillies. Schilling, though, was being matched win for win by Tita Green. Tommy Green, who as the homestand continued, faced the Mets.
Struck him out on a high fastball.
But the veteran Frank Tanana offered an assortment of junk balls that the Phillies ate up like junk food.
Incaviglia drives it to deep right, back goes Bonilla, it is gone, a home run, Pete Incaviglia. Hit the deep center field, long run Orsulak, still going back, this ball is gone, a home run Dave Holland. Holland hits it out to almost dead center.
Tommy Green, on a night when he did not have his best stuff, gave the bullpen an evening to relax and enjoy, closing out a complete game victory.
Tommy Green does it again. Tommy Green is a perfect 6-0 on the year.
So a night at the ballpark was filled with a lot of fun. The Phillies were in first place, and the talk was about National League pennant and parallels that may exist between the 1993 Phillies and the former pennant champions of 10 years ago, the 1983 Philadelphia Phillies. In your mind, Chris, parallels between those two teams?
Well, yeah, Larry, you know, when that season started in 1983, that team was full of a lot of aging superstars. And I think people really didn't think that team was going to win anything that year. And then they came on very strong at the end of the year. The Phillies of this year, Phillies went into the season, people figured, well, they might have a little better season, but they're not going to win anything. So 10 years apart, same thing happened again.
And in fact, on a night in the middle of June, the 1983 team came back for a 10-year anniversary, shared the old locker room with the 93 Phillies.
A June night to rekindle memories. The 1983 Phillies, the last to hoist a flag at the vet, were back for the Heroes of Baseball game. The biggest ovation for Michael Jack Schmidt, who stroked a base hit past his former teammate, now Phillies coach Larry Bowa, before Ivan DeJesus made the Phils winners.
That is smoke. Jay Johnstone will never get to that one. Trey Gross will score. Ivan DeJesus, the game-winning hit. And Philly fans are happy.
But it was back to work for the first-place Phillies, with Tommy Green searching for his 8th win against the Rockies. And Green was masterful. And another night meant another offensive hero. Kim Batiste broke the game open with a 2-run double. Leaving Green just 1 out away.
There's a ground ball to third. This could be the ball game. Hollins goes to first, and Tommy Green is 8-0. He's up there in that rare air, some stuff Steve Carlton's accomplished around here.
A couple of nights later, an even more impressive pitching performance, this one by soon-to-be All-Star Game starter Terry Mulholland. And it was a barrage of offense which sent the Astros' Pete Harnisch to the showers. And when it was over, Mulholland would lead the league in shutouts, complete games, and more. The Phillies' lead in the Eastern Division was 8 full games. On the next homestand, it was back to the original formula. Mulholland, without his best stuff, gave Fregosi a quality start. The hitting star was Mariano Duncan, whose line drive produced a pair of runs. The Phillies led, but the game would turn in the 8th inning. Benito Santiago facing the setup man, Harry Anderson.
Benito 1 for 3 on the night. That could be a double play ball. Boy, Anderson couldn't have gotten it done any better than that. 1 pitch, 2 outs. Talk about doing your job.
Which Mitch Williams did in the 9th, leaving Terry Mulholland a 9-game winner. The 20th save for Williams, the lead a healthy 9.5 games. By the time the Braves came to town in late June, the Phillies were nearly 30 games over 500. On this business person special, Ben Rivera was all business. And the Phillies exploded on John Smoltz for a classic big inning, filled with hits and walks and cheers, and the red-hot Jim Eisenreich.
Eisenreich, a base hit to center field. 1 run scored. Bo is waving Daulton around. The throw goes into third. 6-1 ball game in favor of the Phillies, and Eisenreich is hit 13 straight.
And the fanatic and fans would engage in a little mid-season mockery. Amazingly, the Phillies were 50-game winners on June 23rd.
So the Phillies would leave town still in first place, still playing terrific baseball, but before they came home for one of the longer homestands of the summer as the West came east, they had to travel a little bit to St. Louis and Pittsburgh, a memorable week on the road, Chris.
Yeah, and not a good one, Larry. The Phillies were kind of staggering towards the All-Star break at this time. I remember the games in Pittsburgh were very, very difficult. A couple of tough losses. 3 out of 4 losses against the St. Louis Cardinals, who were a team that were right on the Phillies' tail at that time. So they were really worried about the way things were going. Curt Schilling had pitched poorly. Darren Daulton had chewed him out in the media. And everybody was a little bit edgy coming into that series against the West Coast teams. The heat was unbelievable. The weather was unbelievable. I think it's a homestand we'll never forget.
Well, we'll pick it up with the very first game of the homestand, July the 2nd, a simple, easy twilighter against the San Diego Padres, or so we thought.
It had the look of a midsummer nightmare, but a night only Noah could love. And the Phillies had double duty against the San Diego Padres. This evening meandered toward midnight, through rain, stoppages, tarp on, tarp off. And soon-to-be brave Fred McGriff ended all doubt.
Ripped to deep left center. Back goes Dykstra. This ball is gone. A 2-run home run.
It was after 1 a.m. when Darren Daulton struck out to end the game. But wait, there was still another one on the schedule, so in the weeest of hours, Game 2 begins. From the ridiculous to the sublime. Craig Shipley ripped a 3-run home run off Jose De Leon. And with Andy Bennett staked to a 5-run lead, it appeared to be all over. But 2:30 a.m. is when the Phillies got their wake-up call, and Ricky Jordan would let no one hit the snooze button.
Jordan, a long drive, deep left field. Back they go. This ball is gone. A home run, Ricky Jordan.
The Phillies were within 1 run, and with security now working overtime, just before 4 a.m., Darren Daulton stroked a base hit to right field.
Here comes Hollins being waved around. Bean's throw is not in time, and it's a tie game here at 3:53 in the morning.
Sunrise was just minutes away. Still tied at 5 when the Wild Thing batted in the bottom of the 10th.
That's a base hit. Incaviglia is going to score, and the Phillies win the game on a base
It was Mitch Williams' only hit on his only at-bat of the entire season on a night Phillies fans will never forget. But there was an equally memorable evening just a few days later. Memorable as the Major League debut of shortstop Kevin Stocker, who, by the way, walked in his first at-bat. Memorable for a team that just never quit. The opponents? Tommy Lasorda's Dodgers. The Phillies chased Ramon Martinez early on the strength of a John Kruk bolt to right center field, just hours after he was named a National League All-Star. And Milt Thompson's incredible leaping ability kept All-Star starter Terry Mulholland comfortably ahead into the ninth inning. But in the ninth, Mitch Williams lost his location, then his composure, and then was thumbed. An Eric Karros bouncer hit Larry Anderson. The tying run would score, Mulholland would get a no decision. And then as we reached the witching hour again, the defenses would take over, with game-saving plays by Roger McDowell and defensive replacement Kim Batiste. Inning after inning, hour after hour. Until the top of the 20th, when a tapper turned to disaster for the Phillies. The Dodgers took a 6-5 lead. But the Phillies refused to yield, loading the bases in the bottom of the 20th for the dude.
Deep to left field, Eric Davis going back, still going back, he can't get it! It's a double for Lenny Dykstra, and the Phillies are going to win this ball game! Eisenreich scores, here's Morandini, he scores, and they win it 7-6 in 20 innings!
Another defining night, an unlikely win for this gutty group of gamers led by Lenny Dykstra. It would not be an unchallenged summer's ride to the crown. The Cardinals were creeping within range. A huge crowd on hand for the showdown at the Vet. The Phillies' lead had been sliced, and when Tommy Green came up with a groin pull in the third inning, the Cardinals hoped to rock. But it was the Phillies who came out smoking.
Hollins to deep left field. Back goes Gilkey. Home run, Dave Hollins.
The Phils had 7 runs on the board after this 2-run rope by John Kruk. The Cardinals would close the gap before Kruk ended his perfect night.
Cooper center field. This ball's a base hit, and the Phillies are going to get a big run. And John Kruk is 5 for 5.
That made it 9-7. Still some sweaty palms for Mitch Williams in the ninth, who got Mark Whitten on a fly ball to Pete Incaviglia, and Game 1 belonged to the first-place Phillies. But the next night, Todd Zeile staked the Cardinals to a huge start with a grand slam. 4 runs before Terry Mulholland had recorded the first out. With Bob Tewksbury in control and Ozzie Smith still, well, Ozzie Smith, it looked like it would be a lengthy night. But this night would belong to all-star catcher Dutch Daulton. First, crushing a 3-1 fastball to the wall in left center field. That would score 2 runs. Tie the game at 4 apiece. The Phils were right back in the ballgame. Then Milt Thompson kept it even with a remarkable catch with his back to the infield. How'd he do that? The game would come down to Omar Olivares against Darren Daulton.
Deep to left center field. Way back. This ball is a grand slam. Home run, Darren Daulton.
Daulton, the Rock, had put the Cardinals in a hard place. It was right back to work for a business person special. The town was ablaze for this near sellout, and so was starter Curt Schilling. But an infield single by Brian Jordan capped a character-filled Cardinal comeback. It was tied 4-4. But their balloon popped with Rod Murphy facing Darren Daulton.
He walked him ball
This leisurely stroll homeward for Pete Incaviglia effectively ended the pennant chase for the St. Louis Cardinals. Joe Torre could only watch helplessly as out came the broom.
Hard ground ball to second. Flip to Stocker. Oh, maybe he hold on to it. And the Phillies sweep the St. Louis Cardinals in just a great series.
The lead, once down to 4 games, was back to 7, and the Cardinals would not be heard from again.
So the Phillies had shown their character, withstood the challenge, and vanquished the St. Louis Cardinals. They really wouldn't be heard from again in 1993, but there was a team lurking in the distance, Chris Wheeler, who you were concerned about all summer long.
Yeah, Larry, the Montreal Expos are a baseball team I think you always have to worry about because they have such good young talent. You know, Felipe Alou had been doing a good job with them. He really kept them loose. They aren't under a lot of pressure playing up there in Montreal. And they had John Wetland, the premier closer in the league, and he was not coughing up many saves at that point. So they were a team that I thought all along you're going to have to worry about them before it was over.
Well, in the month of August, they came to town for a showdown. Every pitch of every inning was seen exclusively on Prism.
The Expos arrived in Philadelphia ablaze, but the Phillies seemed to appreciate a good challenge. On this night, a pair of Phillies took matters personally. First, Dave Hollins off Chris Nabholz.
Rips it down the left field line. It is a fair ball into the corner, and he'll get both of them home. There's a broken bat base hit right field. Duncan will score. Hollins is going to test Walker, who bobbles it, and he's safe at second base. Dave Hollins with 3 runs batted in tonight. And the Phils lead it 5-1 here in the 7th inning.
The rest of the story was the hammer Curt Schilling. Schilling with high heat. Schilling with the breaking ball. Schilling with the game in his hands. And on August 10th, the Phillies had surpassed their win total for all of 1992. The next night, a rugged evening against El Presidente, Dennis Martinez. Pete Incaviglia must have hurt the turf with this diving catch. Then bombed a moonshot to get the contest tied, carving himself even deeper into the hearts of Phillies fans. But Moises Alou would give the Expos life, drilling a Ben Rivera fastball for a 3-run home run, and the Phillies would be in search of a hero. And as he did all year, Jim Eisenreich stepped into the breach, pulling Martinez for a home run. The game was tied, and it stayed that way due to Izzy's glove.
Cordero with a little looper off the end of the bat. Eisenreich, what a catch by Jim Eisenreich.
Pennant winners require the entire roster, and Eisenreich's contributions just can't be minimized. And in the bottom of the 9th, John Wetland couldn't put out the fire.
It's off the glove of the shortstop Cordero. Scoring is Thompson. The Phillies win it 6-5 in the 9th inning.
The Expos had one more chance, a business person special. They turned to rookie Kurt Reeder, who delivered early.
Here we go, 2-2 to Lenny. Swing and a miss, stuck him out on a breaking ball. What a job by Reeder. Strikes out the side.
The Expos gave Reeder a 3-0 lead, but Pete Incaviglia cut into that with a base hit to score Ricky Jordan. And when Dave Hollins hit this, no doubt about it, out of here in a hurry bolt to right center, the Phillies were on top. Mitch Williams got Sean Berry to pop out. 45,000 Phillies fans went home happy. The Expos limped back north of the border, turned aside by the soon-to-be Eastern Division champions. There is no other way to play Capture the Flag than to grind it out one day at a time. And by the time the expansion Marlins came to town in late September, the Champagne had an early chill. And so did the ancient mariner, Charlie Huff. Jim Eisenreich went fishing on a Huff knuckler. The Phillies led it 2-0. And the hits just kept on coming till Huff was vanquished, trailing 6-0. Curt Schilling was at his overpowering best, and the Phillies were 91-game winners. 2 nights later, the magic number almost gone. Our Prism farewell with a tribute to the dude, as this one was a perfect curtain dropper for our 1993 coverage. Big Ben Rivera was overpowering, but one hanging curveball to Jeff Conine left the game tied at 1. It was a battle of the bullpens, with Jack Armstrong forcing extra innings. Then Roger Mason would take it to the bottom of the 12th, still tied. When closer extraordinaire Brian Harvey came up lame, the Marlins were forced to turn to Richie Lewis, who would face Dave Hollins.
Hollins, a shot to right, and it's over. Tony Longmire trots in with a winning run, and Dave Hollins wins it with a base hit to right field. The Phillies have a 5.5-game lead. They've won their 93rd game of the year, and their magic number is 6.
A magic season filled with unlikely heroes and games we will never forget.
Ground ball up the middle. Morandini makes a great play. He got it. Oh, nice play by Baptiste. Jumps up, throws. Terrific play, Kim Baptiste. Hard ground ball to short. Bell to Morandini. To first. Got him!
Hit to deep right field. Walker going back. At the wall. It's gone. A home run for Eisenreich.
Fly ball deep center field. Back goes Grissom. Still going back. At the wall. It's gone. A home run, Dave Hollins.
When he rips it to deep right field, back goes Gwynn. It's out of here. Home run, Lenny Dykstra.
Fly ball deep right center field. Back goes Van Slyke. It's a grand slam home run.
Deep to left field. Fair or foul. It is a fair ball. A grand slam home run. Pete Incaviglia.
Terrific individual moments from a terrific team, the National League champions of 1993, the Philadelphia Phillies. That still sounds good coming off the tongue, Chris.
Well, Larry, you just said a terrific team, and I think that's what they were. You know, there were so many great memories from this year, but I think there was a bonding that took place between this team and the city of Philadelphia, and we've probably never seen it before, might never see it again. You know, in the day and age when you say the fans can't identify with players and players can't identify with the fans love the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Phillies really love the fans in this area, and it was just a great season, something we'll never forget.
Those characters will be on display again in 1994, both in your home and in Veterans Stadium. Thanks for being a part of the 1993 season. For Chris Wheeler, I'm Larry Rosen. We'll see you at the ballpark and on Prism.
Attention, dudes and dudettes. The Phillies present Whatever It Takes, Dude, hosted by the dude, Lenny Dykstra, and Harry Callis. This official video showcases all the Phillies' glorious victories and dramatic comebacks, plus the unusual characters that made the 1993 Phillies season so unique. Whatever It Takes, Dude is available where videos are sold.